Welcome everyone to today's online event by SaveTheHighStreet.org and JoinJoe.com. My name is John Abate, Customer Experience Lead here at SaveTheHighStreet.org, and I'll be your host today. This event is open to all those interested in improving their business through increased footfall. Whether you're joining us as a small business on the high street or a local landlord looking to help your tenants grow, today we're going to unpack some of the best ways you can increase footfall to your local high street and get more customers through the door. By the end of this event, you'll be armed with ideas, inspiration, and expert advice on how to boost your footfall, ranging from improving your visual merchandising, turning your online presence into offline customers, working with your local community, and much more. Joining our discussion today will be Alex, who's one of the founding partners of SaveTheHighStreet.org, Julie, our community director, and the three winners of our High Street Startup Competition, Zinat, Dan, and Sumera, who will be sharing how they've managed to rapidly grow their footfall from zero in the past couple of weeks, having recently launched on the high street. And if you have any ideas you would like to share or experiences with any of these topics or questions for us today, please pop them in the chat box to your right and we'll answer them at the end. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to kick things off today with visual merchandising, which is one of my areas of expertise. Here are some ways you can use VM, visual merchandising, to increase foot traffic. Starting with the shop front, signage, and windows. Bring in outside traffic by showing the face of your business. Communicate directly to your audience and encourage see, try, buy. That's a VM philosophy. Your windows are a great opportunity to tell stories. Storytelling is important, especially for physical stores these days, where shopping can be done online. Windows could do so much for your business. We can give you lots of useful advice and even provide you one-to-one support on how you can do the right windows for you, as with all of our support. We also have in-store visual merchandising, and this is about transforming your business to a destination to visit. It's about making it interesting and easy for your customer to shop. That is done through zoning, navigation, product merchandising, and display. You want to wow the customer to keep them coming back, plus generate good reviews and word of mouth, which equals more customers. Use visual merchandising to generate online conversation, like QR codes with your URL and social media tags in the window. These all help drive online traffic. These also increase footfall by tapping into online trends. Take advantage of photo opportunities. Use your physical presence to create online and digital content. Create that Instagram spot that gets your customers sharing your store through social media. And now I'd like to introduce Zinat of Abayatopia. Zinat won our High Street Startup Competition run in partnership with Hounslow Council, and has recently launched a pop-up of her successful online modest wear brand, Abayatopia, at the Treaty Center in central Hounslow. In launching her pop-up, Zina and I worked together on visual merchandising to turn her space into a customer-focused store that helped bring shoppers in and meet them face-to-face. Hi, Zinat. You there?
Hi, John. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for joining. So how have you approached visual merchandising in your store, and how has it helped boost footfall?
Right, so the shop space that I actually won was a corner plot. So there's two sides that customers could look into from, like two really large windows. So one of my our main ideas when we discussed it with yourself and me, was that the mannequins and the visuals need to be showing exactly what I'm selling. They need to be looking quite attractive. They need to be looking enticing for the customer. So that's exactly what's been happening with the store. So people have been walking past, they've been stopping, they've been looking at the mannequins, they've been looking at the clothing, they've been peering into the shop as well, not just looking at the mannequins, and quite interested as to what this new shop is about. And that's how people have been coming in. We also just discussed about the decoration. John really helped with sourcing very beautiful, ethnic looking decoration pieces. For example, the rugs, like Persian rugs, Iranian rugs, like the screen at the back as well that you can see in the picture. So it just makes it look really, like an attractive store to come into, a luxurious store to come into. I also wanted my logo to be quite clearly seen. So there's about three different large logos, my Biotopia logos within the shop. So customers can see exactly what the name is of my brand. Another thing that you just mentioned, John, was about the zoning within the shop space. So we discussed about how we should have, say, my best sellers on one side of the shop. And that's exactly where the customers come in. Like the first thing they go to are those best sellers automatically, just naturally, they go straight to that side of the store. I also wanted to have like a new arrival section that's not available for online, because I am online as well. So my in-store customers feel as though, there's something there for them, just for them. The one thing that I really wanted to have in my store is an Instagrammable spot. And what I created with the help of a couple of friends is a Instagram frame. So a nice, pretty frame with flowers around it, and it had my name on it, at a Biotopia. So customers come in, especially the youngsters, the teenagers, the university students, they come in, they pick the frame up, take a picture with their friends or even by themselves. They share it on their social media platforms, especially Instagram, and then they tag me. So I think that the customers have actually enjoyed that quite a bit. Yeah, these are the different ideas that we discussed and have put into place.
Great. Yeah. Thanks, Zina. Yeah, it was a real pleasure to work with you. You actually have a natural visual merchandising flair, especially in merchandising the product, color stories. We've also had to make some decisions like how much product to put out, and like, a full size range, because you wouldn't have the ability to go into the stock room. There was a lot about visual merchandising in this store that we had to work on, and I'm glad you feel that it worked out well.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've had great feedback. Thank you to you as well. Thank you as well, John, for your input.
Thanks, Zina. Okay. Okay, and now on to our next section, which is all about using your online channels to generate offline footfall. So Alex, over to you.
Well, thank you, John, and thank you all for joining us today. So firstly, I'd like to say that the future of the high street is a world of online and local working together, not against each other. In many cases, local independents should be outperforming pure play e-commerce retailers, dark kitchens, at-home services, and other online-only businesses without a high street premise. And they should be doing this in their own backyard. Today, I'll be shining a light on some of the key opportunities available for local independent businesses right now to turn online presence into local footfall. Let's start with search engines. We all use search engines. Most of us will probably be using Google almost every day to find information on products or services we're looking for. And almost everyone today also has one of these in their hands. Google and the other search engines are keen to show you the most relevant results. That's what core of a search engine is all about. And they're really trying to focus increasingly on location. So because you've got that mobile phone in your hand and they understand where you are, they are looking to prioritize local businesses with things to serve that demand that's being searched for in their search engine, with businesses offering those products, services, experiences, and other offerings nearby. So if someone is typing in even a generic keyword, let's say trainers, for example, Google wants to show you above people who don't have a local presence offering trainers nearby that person searching for it on their mobile phone. Ultimately, they want to show you first if you have certain things in place. And, I'm going to talk a little bit today about, some of the basics that you need to have. But in principle, the key thing from an SEO point of view, which is Google's free or organic listings and the things you can be doing to make sure you're ranking without having to advertise and pay per click, is content, which gives you relevancy, links, which give you votes, technical SEO, which basically makes you much more accessible, and targeting, which is all about the keywords that you focus on through your content, your link building, and other SEO type activities. Ultimately, this comes together in terms of giving the right signals to Google to rank you on the keywords that are most relevant to your business. Another real foundation that I think is important to reference here, and hopefully a lot of the people who are listening in today are well on top of this already, is what used to be called Google My Business and is now called Google Business Profile. This is basically like having a mini website within Google, and not just Google, but Google Maps, and making sure that that presence, that website is not just claimed, but really well optimized. One of the commonly misunderstood conversations and factors of SEO is it's not just about ranking. Ultimately, this is about what you do with that ranking. And if you have a well-optimized Google Business Profile set up, and you're doing things like really understanding the title tags and the metadata you may have heard of as relatively technical sounding SEO factors. This is not so much about ranking. This is about click-throughs. This is about how you're presented on that search engine result page. It's not just you there when someone is searching, even if you're ranking on that first page. Your job is to get yourself onto that first page, but also win that click-through. And so with your Google Business Profile, what you want to be doing is encouraging everybody to, visit your business, getting the right photos. And we'll talk a little bit later about managing those reviews and ensuring that whole profile is well optimized. When you are thinking about how you are visible in that first page, using title tags and metadata, not just to get relevancy for your business and get onto the first page, but to encourage those people that see you on the first page to click through and visit your business. In addition to SEO, which is search engine optimization, is how you rank in the free or natural listings, as we call them, in search engines. You can also advertise in search engines. And one of the key things I'm going to talk about here, just quickly on search engine advertising, is that as a local business, there are lots of features that allow you to target people nearby. You can geofence to particular audiences. And this means, again, you can advertise on very generic keywords that look way too generic for you to be targeting as a local business on a global basis, but you can set a campaign up so that only people that see that when they search for a keyword such as trainers, for example, are people who are nearby. So, you've got opportunities here to really use features in Google to target local customers. They've also been adding in interesting features such as inventory ads. So this is an extension of something that Google have been doing for many years now called Google Shopping, which basically allows you as a retailer locally to add your live stock inventory into Google. And again, similar to what I was saying before, they want to show results from businesses nearby to people who are searching for those products on their mobile phones. And so getting your local inventory live in Google gives you another way to win in a really obviously competitive world of online e-commerce, but win that local market against even the biggest online only retailers in the world. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about Facebook as well, because if Google is the king of capturing demand, when people are actually looking for the things you offer, Facebook is the online king of creating that demand for products and services with local audiences. You can set up basic campaigns through Facebook's Ad Center and run them from as little as £1 a day. That's the minimum spend. You do not have to be investing significant amounts to test out a Facebook ad campaign. And there are a number of benefits for you to be thinking about here. On the basic campaigns, you can set them up focused around call to actions such as send message, shop now, get directions to the business, or even to encourage people to give you a call. You can also go deeper and focus on more in-depth campaigns and target additional goals such as store traffic or lead generation. And all these campaigns can be run not just on Facebook, the app itself, but Meta's wider suite of apps, Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger. Meta is the new name for Facebook's parent company, and they also own WhatsApp. And I'll be talking a little bit more in some other sessions about some of the new tools emerging on WhatsApp to help local businesses encourage their local audience to either visit their business or serve them from a customer service point of view in new ways. So what are we thinking about here with Facebook? Regardless of your view, your perception of how creepy it might be that Facebook knows so much about us, this is a great opportunity for a local business to target local people nearby and encourage them to visit your shop or your restaurant, your barber, your salon, your pub, or whatever it might be that you're offering a product or service nearby. As a small business owner, you can set up campaigns focused on only people within a particular geographic proximity of your local business, within a particular demographic, whether it's age, whether it's sex, whether it is any kind of demographic focus. You can focus around people only with particular interests, and you can even focus on the different channels within Meta. So as I was saying, or even on the basic campaigns, you can set them up across Facebook, Instagram, or Facebook Messenger. There's also features around retargeting, but that's for another day. And retargeting in the general sense is about saying you target people with ads only when they've done something before. For example, they've been on your website previously, or they've seen one of your previous ads. You show them something different. And I think creative is just one thing I just like to shine just a quick light on here, because Facebook, as well as Google's we just talked about, give you the opportunities to test lots of different creatives. You don't have to think of it like I have just one ad. You could be putting out 3 different ads to the same group, general group, seeing which works best, and then focusing in to test and optimize those creatives to achieve certain key KPIs or key goals. What else to say about Facebook? Well, I think the broadest thing I'll say about Facebook is that it's not the only platform you can be advertising on. So if you can get a campaign set up on Facebook, and it is a good start if you haven't done any social media advertising before, and it's working, you can start to expand that out within certain parameters. Like you want to achieve a certain return on investment, whether that's footfall, whether that's sales, whether that's lead generation. But you can also start to test out advertising on other channels. And all the major social networks are really focused now on catching up with Facebook, whether that's LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat, Pinterest, and others, developing quite similar features to target local businesses, to offer them services like Facebook is doing that allow those local businesses to attract more footfall into their stores, their restaurants, and the like. Okay, so I've talked a fair bit about 2 of those key opportunities. So I'd just like to shine a quick light on some of the others, put out some ideas into the room, and hopefully stimulate some thought. Where do we start here? So online reviews. 80% of consumers say that they look at online reviews to find out more about local stores. We all do it. Now, what can we do to improve online reviews? So the first thing to think about is ask for them. And it sounds so obvious, but when you get under the surface of why some businesses have a lot more reviews than other similar looking businesses even nearby, often you'll find that they're just really proactive in asking their customers at the point of sale or afterwards via email or even on social media publicly, please send a review if you've had an experience you'd like to share about our business. The other thing is about responding to reviews. You know, we've all seen negative reviews online and we know what impact that can have. And it's really important that you're careful with a response to a negative review. And most businesses have had them. There's nothing to be ashamed about. You know, you're dealing with a lot of people. There's a lot of different personalities, customers that you're dealing with every day. But the key thing is that you respond to it, and you respond to it politely and not too defensively. And we can talk specifically about some of those recommendations, you know, we can provide on a case-by-case basis. If you are dealing with anything specific at the moment, it's worth speaking to your success manager or whoever's supporting you if you're seeing a negative review. But it is not worth just leaving. You should respond to it, and you can turn a negative review into a positive with a good response. Email marketing. So again, asking for email addresses at every point you can and encouraging, starting to talk about your business and the things that are happening locally. It doesn't need to be overthought, you know, but it is good to be in communication with your customers when they're not there, keeping them up to date about what's happening, ideally week by week, but at least on a monthly basis or when certain things are happening. New releases, new events, and even just telling your story. We've got great examples of businesses who've done amazing things, just bringing their brand to life more and talking about even their own vulnerabilities through the lockdown periods that have encouraged customers to build a closer affinity and encourage them to come back more often. Social media content, localizing that. So there's lots of things going on all the time in your local business day to day. You know, it's not as boring as you might think to keep people up to date regularly around what you're up to here. And just keeping yourself in the consciousness of your local community and your local audience, the people that are following you, the people that are your fans, you know, keeping them up to date encourages them to come back more often. Social influencers, a number of your social influencers will be local. And some of the non-local social influencers in your market will have really big local audiences. Can you identify those local influencers who are going to have the most impact for you? And can you befriend them? Can you connect with them? Can you offer something to them? It doesn't have to be financial, but it can just be that you offer them an opportunity to be a part of your business in some way, that they come to an event. I know we might talk a little bit about, you know, Zinat's got a great idea about engaging local influencers with a competition. There's lots of different ideas that we can come up with together about actually doing something that is meaningful with local influencers. And there are lots of ways to identify people who have reach and influence in a local market who you should be engaged with. Your website. So if you're turning online traffic into offline customers, it's really important that you're clear on your homepage as well as other places on your website about how to find you, that you are online and local, and that you really welcome everybody who's visiting the website to come and visit you in store. Sounds obvious, but it's really underutilized. Click and collect and book now buttons in social media. These are opportunities for you to say, you can reserve, you can find what you're looking for here and pick it up locally. You can reserve a slot for the service. You know, giving people that option is what people want today. It was accelerated through the lockdown period, and it's a reality today. Giving customers the option to book online, to experience offline. And there are many apps and services, third-party online marketplaces that can help you expand the reach beyond your own website with similar types of offerings. Click and collect marketplaces, booking marketplaces online. Final thing I'll say is, again, seems a little bit sort of obvious here, but you know, you're part of a community locally, but you're also part of a local community online. And I know Julie's going to talk a lot more about local collaborations, but these online communities are places where if you can find the time and find that interest and confidence to get involved and be an active participant, not just someone who is watching from the outside, these are great opportunities to drive additional footfall. You know, whether it's next door, whether it's Facebook groups, there are so many communities set up for your local area online. Find them, initially at least be a part of them listening in, but get involved, be an actual member and ideally a leader of those communities. One thing we've been saying at savethehighstreet.org for a long time is we found out that, you know, busybodies are doing better. Get involved, be a part of that local community, and you'll find that it will increase the awareness of your business and increase the footfall through the door. So that's it for me on online stuff. As John's going to mention later on, everything we're talking about today, you know, there is support for the people listening in about all those ideas I've just mentioned here. So, you know, get in touch with your success manager. If you're not already on a program of support, you know, get in touch with us to find out how you can get involved. And if anything I've talked about today is of interest to you to unpack and do a bit more with, then do let the team know. Thanks, John. But over to you again, I suppose.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Alex. That was really interesting. All right. And now I'd like to talk about Zinat again, who we've just heard from earlier. Zinat's business at Biotopia was an online-only brand before launching her pop-up in Hounslow. She used her business, she's using actually her business's online presence to bring offline customers to her pop-up. So Zinat, I'd like to ask you again, how have you approached this, and what top tips would you have for other businesses wanting to turn online traffic into customers on the ground?
Yeah, so I have been trading online for a few years, and I managed to create quite a good mailing list. So the first thing that I did was send out an email to my customers saying that, you know, a Biotopia are going to be launching in the high street. Why don't you come and meet us? Find out who's behind a Biotopia, because so far I've always been behind the screen. No one really knew who I was. No one knew who was behind a Biotopia. So I was inviting them via an email saying, come and meet us, come and look at our items, try them on, feel them, touch them, talk to us. Within that email, I also included an offer. So I said, you know, the first 20 customers, you're going to be receiving a free gift. I think that helped as well, because I did, you know, on the first day, the launch day, there were customers who said, oh, I saw the email and that's why I've come along. And it wasn't just local people, it was people from, you know, central London and, you know, further places as well. So that was great. The email was excellent. I also created some reels, so Instagram reels and TikTok videos showing how we set up. So I showed like the empty space, and then like a little clip of, you know, family members helping out within the shop floor, how we're setting up, and then the final end result of what the shop looks like, you know, with its decoration and all the items in there. Now that reel or that TikTok post actually kind of went quite, I won't say viral, but it did go out. It did reach a lot of people. And I had customers coming in saying, you know, I saw the TikTok video, or I saw the reel on Instagram. So I was really surprised to hear that, and I was really pleased with that as well. I also sent out like a WhatsApp message with a nice picture of the shop front, and a text, an informative text, to say, you know, we're opening, and I sent it out to my WhatsApp groups, and I think friends or whoever just forwarded that and shared that as well. And again, feedback from customers said, oh, I saw the message on WhatsApp. It wasn't through from one friend, it was from another one, or, you know, from various groups. They got it from different places. So I think all of that helped. I am doing an in-store competition. So I'm asking people to enter in their details, their phone number and email. And in return, if they get chosen, so it'll be like a raffle. If they get chosen, I will be customizing their abaya or dress that they design. So I think people have liked that as well.
Great. That's wow. You've done a lot, but it's paying off, which is really great to hear. So thanks a lot again for your input, and I'll let you get back to work. Okay, cool. All right, and now on to our next topic. So how to host local events that can bring customers in to the high street. Okay, hosting an event as a local business, landlord, or even council is a fantastic way to give your community a real reason to come onto the high street, visit your business, and engage with you. Events can be held to communicate council initiatives or allow landlords to utilize vacant spaces for community, educational, and cultural shows even. An event can be something big, can be small, can be anything in between. The important thing is that it excites customers and the public, giving them an incentive to care enough about your business or organization to come and visit it. There's no one rule for what an event is. And we do an event in quotes. It's quite a broad spectrum of events that one can do. And this all depends on your business industry, the type of organization, quite importantly, your customer base, who your audience is, and many other things. But we can share a few different types of events that you might want to consider to help increase your footfall as a local high street business. So the first one would be, you're selling products, and there are hopefully new products coming in all the time. So you can have a product launch. So if you have a particular product that is new and that that you can create a story around that, why not have an in-store event to launch that? Make an event inviting customers to come in and see what's new. You could also do it by running live shows, demonstrations. These could be on and offline, offline and online. Ideally, that would be the way to have events these days. And make the most of having a new star product that can make you stand out from your competition and create that buzz around your business. Another really good event, and I've actually seen this work quite well for a few businesses, is workshops. And so if your business lends yourself to it, why not host an in-person, and again, it could be also online, host a workshop to demonstrate your expertise, demonstrate how products are used or your services. And different things that you can do is you can have cooking classes. I always mention Rouge, this little shop I work in Stoke Newington. She sells home goods, furniture, but she's building a kitchen downstairs to have cooking classes, which is not her core business, but is related to her core business. She sells the plates and the cups and all the things that the food goes on to. So why not have the food there too? And it's actually working out quite well. There's a lot of interest from customers to join these classes. So you can also have, depending on what you do, again, you can have craft classes. People love to come and make things. I've even heard that this can even be kind of an informal dating way. Like they're hoping maybe to meet other people at events like this. So be sure to invite singles to things like this. So anyway, you can also do technical demonstrations or trials. You can have educational workshops, and you can also invite complimentary guest speakers, other businesses in your area. We'll talk about collaboration more later, but you can get other people to come who complement your business. And you can even charge for these, which is great because it achieves two goals. It gets more customers through the door, and it increases your sales. It gives you another revenue stream. You can also run competitions like what Abayatopia is doing. She's running a competition to design your own abaya. So people fill out a little card, they put it in a big bowl, everybody sees the bowl on the table, and she'll have an event when she chooses the winner. So it's a good idea to announce the winners in store and invite all the people who registered. All right, another kind of event that you can run is have a sale or a discount. So you can bring customers in with a limited time sale for a special occasion. You can target loyal customers on your mailing list. So they feel special. They feel like they're a VIP customer. They're getting a sale that's a discount that's like just for them. And you can advertise this in your window and your online campaigns. But I kind of don't recommend that you do this too much, because this can be a slippery slope, always offering discounts all the time. And just really make sure you protect your margins and discount the right products, at the right time. Another form of event is a traditional form of event, which is throw a party. So you can celebrate lots of different things. So an easy example, the one that I've seen, is a business anniversary. We've been in business for 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, 20 years. You'd be surprised how customers would like to come and help celebrate that with you. You can also have community-oriented events relating to your business. You can have local initiatives, educational, cultural events that reach out to the public in an engaging way. And it's a good way to give something back to the community. Make sure you advertise the party or event via all your online. You could do it through flyers, posters, email marketing, etc. It's promoting this in advance is really quite important. And you should promote it, like a week in advance, the day before. Give people time to schedule it into their busy schedules, but also allow that kind of spontaneous, like, oh yeah, I'd like to go today, type of thing. So make sure you're communicating to customers at different times. So make sure that you make the environment special. If they're coming for an event, they probably are expecting, some music playing, some decorations to go up that are relative to the event, and make sure you use your building facade or your windows to catch passerby attention. Yeah, so advertise it outside in a display way, so people maybe even who don't even know you're having an event will see that and just come in to see what's going on. You can also do what we call shop window reveals, and this is maybe something more you do at Christmas, where they call it the light switching on ceremonies that they'll have, like on Oxford Street and stuff like that. So a good thing to do is try to get your whole street to do this. Again, this is about collaboration. Try to get your high street, everyone to kind of do their Christmas windows or whatever the seasonal windows might be. Get them to do them all at the same time and have like a street launch party. Of course, it's really important to use social media to encourage people to check out what's coming up and to document it and for them to share it on their social media. A good one coming up, don't forget, is the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, and that's in June. So start planning your high street party now. And you could use your windows as your billboard to tell the unique story and to let people know about your events. Have the window tell the story in the lead up to your event. Okay, so those are some simple and achievable ideas for events. And now here's a quick overview of the top tips on how to get the most out of them. So always think of your target customer. Create photo opportunities for social media sharing. Encourage online discussion and engagement. Make use of multiple marketing tactics to promote events, like online ads, email marketing, posters, flyers, social posts, etc. Now, to share some real experience with all this, I'd like to introduce you to Dan Barnett of Dan the Bike Man. Dan is another winner of our High Street Startup Competition and has recently launched a pop-up for his bike repair business that includes a bike training course and a pop-up cafe with a fellow startup food business, JJ Ceylon. So, in launching his pop-up, Dan and I worked together to create an ideal event space to draw in the biking community, as well as those who want their kids to learn to safely ride bikes. All of this, you think, well, why would you do all these events that aren't his core business? And the strategy behind that is to it reinforces Dan's authority in his core business of repairing bikes. So Dan, are you there? Dan the Bike Man. Dan, maybe, okay, maybe Dan couldn't make it, not quite sure. But I can talk for Dan because I was quite involved in this. So Dan, we created his space was very big. It was 7,000 square foot ex New Look store. So he has lots of room for events. And so he's been collaborating with the council to get them to come in to do training. There are also different biking groups like Cycle Sisters and other local biking organizations that come in and have events. They use his space for their training. They use his space to have different events. And even perhaps we're working on, maybe he'll host a rally, a bike rally. There'll be a local biking club who will start the rally and finish the rally at his space. So there are lots of different things that you can do related to your business to hold events that not only get people to come in, but also make you an authority, the go-to for what it is you do. Okay, so sorry, Dan, you couldn't make it, but anyway, hosting events for local community leads us very nicely onto our final section for this afternoon, where Julie will be talking about how everyone on the high street should join forces and boost footfall together. So over to you, Julie.
Hi, thanks, John. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Can you see me okay?
Yes.
Oh, great. Sorry, I don't know what's happening with the view on my screen, but I couldn't see myself, so I assumed everybody else couldn't see me either. So yeah, thanks very much, John and Alex and Zenat for the information that you've just provided there. And yeah, delighted to be able to join this session today. So why is it important for us to work together on our high streets? I mean, we talk about collaboration. In reality, we really are all in this together. We share the high street space. Ultimately, we share the customer base. That's sort of local shoppers, local workers, those that are visiting the area. And a big part of increasing footfall is really down to increasing footfall into the area. So if you want more footfall in your business, ideally we want more footfall generally in our entire high streets. So the more customers we've got, the better it is for everybody, really. So one of the things that puts people off collaborating with their neighbouring businesses is often that they don't know who they are, and they can often feel like they're just competitors. You know, if somebody's spending their money next door, they're not spending it with me, therefore they're the enemy, and that's not necessarily the truth. More often than not, most businesses do actually value some support and value the information and the opportunity to chat with other businesses in the local community and get to know what they do. So that would be my first thing, is to really encourage people to get to know your local businesses and pop in and see them and introduce yourself, and find out about what they do and find ways in which you can complement the sorts of services and products that they're providing, and find a way perhaps where what you can do can be cross-promoted, and you can cross-promote what they're doing too. Also seeking out local networking events, and if there isn't one, why don't you think about even starting one? You know, a local cafe, or a local pub, or somewhere that you can get together and just arrange an hour to discuss business on the high street and ideas for collaborating on events and initiatives. Also, a good thing to do is to think about the local marketing channels. I know that both Alex and John have talked about social media and digital methods of promotion. But actually there's a lot of independent printed magazines and journals and so on, and if you can maybe find all of those, get copies of those, have a look at who and what is being advertised locally, because ultimately whatever's going out there to the local community is what's driving people into local high streets. So that it may well be that as you're looking through some of maybe the free newspapers or community magazines or whatever it might be, that you find opportunities there for your own business, and maybe it could even prompt you to think about placing an ad that you've not done before and that kind of thing. Cross-promoting other businesses, as John touched on, doing something, hosting an event together with others in your area is a really great way to collaborate and to get something up and running that's not expensive to do and can be turned around pretty quickly. Finding just an excuse, basically an excuse to do something. So John's mentioned the Jubilee celebrations. That's a perfect opportunity to collaborate with neighbouring businesses, think about a theme. I mean, the Royal Jubilee is a great theme in itself. So having window displays, as John mentioned, and running competitions of some kind. Just even something as simple as a colouring competition where you know all of the businesses are giving out the same information, have a posting box, people can put their names and contact details with a bit of a disclaimer that they're happy to receive information about what's happening in their high street. It's just a great, quick and easy way to get some activity going. As Alex said, promoting each other on social media, mentioning them in any news letters, and really showing a united front that you're all working together and acknowledging that local customers are important. Even potentially benefiting from combining customer bases. If you work with a business that there is really a good level of a good level of match in what you're doing, and it's not too directly in competition, then you probably find that you could combine your databases together and put out some combined offers to encourage people to come in and spend with you. In terms of local champions, we really do try to encourage people to identify who their local champions are in their area and really get to know them. So local champions could be community groups, they could be business networks, they're also local individuals, usually the people who like to have a say in the area, but ultimately they've got the passion and they've got the drive to be able to get word out there throughout their own networks as well. They're the people who go the extra mile and bring everybody together and make things happen. And really, that could be you. It could be you, but you've just not identified yourself as a local champion in your area. But we're really keen to support. If there's anything at all that we can do to help you get word out in your own local area, please do contact us at any point. I mean, a very general email address for us is hello@savethehighstreet.org.uk, and that'll get through to the core group, and just tell us if there's some support that you need. We'd be very happy to help. Using local champions to promote your high street really brings you more customers, and more customers means that really everybody wins. Local high street initiatives, John's touched on a lot of these already. An excuse for an event or a shop window competition, finding and shop local movements. There's a lot of these around, and your own local high street may have one. And again, you can sort of encourage people to get behind one of those. Also, utilising local independent directories is another way to find businesses in your area and to connect with them, but also from your perspective, being able to actually advertise and be known through those local directories. Maybe even consider sponsoring an event, and working together with other businesses. A great idea is to put together a calendar that sort of plots all of the different activities throughout the whole year, and look out for things that you can be doing to work together. On a final point, really just keeping an eye on initiatives that your council are planning. The councils are very proactive in terms of trying to get activities and initiatives going. If you've got a business improvement district or a traders association, they're a great source of information, and they're always there to help to see if they can get any activities promoted, and potentially offer some practical funding or support of some kind. So yeah, don't be afraid to talk to neighbouring businesses. Don't be afraid to go knock on the door and say, I run a business just up the road there. I've noticed that you've been here a while. Just get talking, find out a little bit more about whether they would be interested in working on something to try and help drive footfall through the high street. The Joe platform that we have provided has a whole raft of ideas for you, for your own business. So I would really encourage you to get onto the Joe platform and start working through those ideas for yourself, and yeah, work together with other businesses. So on that note, I will hand back over to John. John, I know that you've got somebody else there that you're desperate to introduce, another one of your successful winners of the startup competition. So back over to you, John.
Great, thanks, Julie. Yeah, I'd like to introduce Sumera of Kidwise.
Hello, John. Hello,
Hey,
everyone.
Sumera. Great, welcome. Sumera is our third winner of our High Street Startup Competition and has recently launched her pop-up for science education for children at Hounslow House, where she is right now. And in launching her pop-up, Sumera was really a startup. This was an idea that she had, and now within 2 weeks, her idea has become a reality. And of course, she needs to use collaboration to help find customers. So Sumera, can you kind of share with us how collaborations are helping you build your business?
Hi, yes, I can. Collaborations have been really, really important to drive my business, actually. Luckily, I've been placed in Hounslow House. So for those that don't know, that's the headquarters of the London Borough of Hounslow, which has been a great place. And also, I've been part of an event. So talking of events, I've been part of this spring event run by the council, which has made it possible to be amongst people that are already exhibiting and already known to the public. And so there are people coming in already. So seeing my billboard and seeing my sign, they've kind of been directed towards me. And then initially, before starting in the morning, I've made it a point to go to each of these exhibitors or these organizations and introduce myself. And so they've been working with me and directing footfall towards where I'm sitting. So that's been a really good way of kind of making people kind of look towards me and say, oh, I wonder what this is. I've also had lots of customers come to me through a Biotopia, which I'm not sure a Biotopia knows she's had this effect. But lots of the mums, so we're targeting young children who have mums that, kind of are quite young, and they've known of a Biotopia. So when they've gone into her shop, she's mentioned there's also another winner, and they've then come towards, kind of then looked into my site and have come to see me, which has been great. And what's happened after that is they've gone into WhatsApp and they've messaged their friends, and that WhatsApp message has almost gone viral. I've been told by some of the mums that they've just seen the message in several different WhatsApp groups. It's been the homeschool community, which are quite tightly knit together, and they're literally driving the business at the moment, which has taken a completely different turn to what I thought the business would be like. There's also the local people. So I've been talking to a few of the local shops, and kind of mentioned that I'm doing this, and they've also sent people towards where I'm kind of based, which has been really, really good. Also, people in the building. So I didn't think there'd be quite so many people working on the top floors, really interested, and surprisingly, they've been coming down to have a look, to have a chat, and they've told me they've got a partner who's a business manager at school, or they know somebody that runs something similar and would like to collaborate. So that's been another kind of change in direction of the business. So yeah, no, lots of different collaborations happening, and it's amazing how talking can help these kind of collaborations happen. So I really encourage kind of talking to people, and just telling them who you are and what you're doing. Yeah, I hope that's okay. I mean, any questions, please pop it in the box.
Yeah, no, that's great, Samara. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. That's really good to hear. Thanks for sharing all that. I think it's important for our listeners to hear, to not just hear us, but hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Straight from people who have on the ground experience. So appreciate that. And speaking of talking, I think we've done quite a bit enough of that. So we're going to wrap things up. So before we wrap things up this afternoon, if anybody out there has any ideas they want to share, any experiences or questions, now is the time to put it into the chat box. And as we say goodbye, and I think that's it for today. You can always contact us later if you have any questions. We'd also really love to hear other people's experiences. That's always good to document that. So we all hope that you found joining today, an interesting time for you. You found today's session useful, and you feel motivated and ready to get out there and boost your footfall with some of the ideas that we shared with you. So if you'd like any support with any of this, we can help you achieve that, and we can help you achieve a lot more. So head over to bit.ly/join Joe 2022. Again, that's bit.ly/join Joe 2022 to either start or continue your journey in Joe today. So our unique, which is Joe, which we've mentioned before, the Joe platform is our unique business support platform designed to give independent businesses the support, guidance, and advice they need to reach their full potential. All right, if you have any questions about this, again, contact us, and you can contact us on joe@joinjoe.com, and we'll be in touch as soon as possible.